Welcome back to Pride Park in Derby for the Under-13 Open Schools Cup final between the Whitgift School from South Croydon, just about 3.5 miles south of Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace's ground. And their opponents are Thomas Telford School from Telford in Shropshire, midway between Wolverhampton and Shrewsbury. John Scales, two very familiar names to these ESFA finals. Two schools that we're used to seeing regularly.
Well, I'm just looking back. Thomas Telford beat Northampton School on I think the first game on Monday. The Under-12 School Cup for boys, 4-1. Whitgift played Wright Robinson College, 1-1-0. That was the Under-12 Schools Cup for B teams final. And then, of course, first thing this morning, we had Riddlesdown Collegiate 2-2 with Thomas Telford, and Thomas Telford went on to win 4-3 in penalties. So you're right, great pedigree both these schools have in English schools, FA schools football, and this really promises to be a great game.
Whitgift School were actually the winners of the Under-12 final at Reading last year, the nine-a-side. So several of the boys in the Whitgift team have already experienced the thrill of winning an ESFA PlayStation National Schools Cup final. In one sense, they're almost the defending champions in this particular age group. Charles Humphreys is the referee for this particular game. The rain is unrelenting in Derby.
So as far as I can see, sort of 2-1 so far to Thomas Telford. 2 trophies. One for Whitgift. The rain still pouring down here at Pride Park. Relentless over the 3 days that we've had here. It really does mean that the ball zips about on this surface. The keepers have got to be really assured with their handling. One for strikers to follow in every opportunity they get. There they are, waiting down there in the tunnel. The players ready to come out. What promises to be a fascinating encounter.
Yeah, Whitgift on the left in the blue strip. Thomas Telford in the maroon shirts. Thomas Telford haven't had a single home draw at any stage in the competition. They played all 5 of their previous matches en route to the final away from Telford. And so here they are, still in the Midlands. 32 goals, incidentally, in those 5 games. But trying to complete the tournament without a single home draw. Well supported.
I suppose technically they're the away side here, are they? In the dressing room.
Well,
Probably suits them.
The more local Whitgift down in south of London. It's their 7th match in this run in the competition. And as I say, they were last year's winners at Reading against the Clitheroe School, Moorland, who actually put Thomas Telford out of last year's competition in the quarter-finals.
Well, it just shows you the testament to schools football and to these coaches who do fantastic work. There's always that sort of group of schools who traditionally do well. And they really do develop some fine young talent. We often talk about where the next crop of youngsters are coming from. I'm sure we may well see 1 or 2 here on this pitch in the next 70 minutes or so.
Well, most of these players are involved with professional clubs, particularly on the Whitgift side. The goalkeeper had trials with Real Madrid in the last year. That puts it into some perspective.
There's a little delay down there. Still in the tunnel. Not quite sure why. But we're ready to go again. Great support. Thomas Telford down the road. Yeah, here they come.
Charles Humphreys leads the teams out.
Officials, Charlie Humphreys, the referee, Josh Thorne and his assistant, and the fourth official for this match, Sue Albrighton, with Whitgift in their traditional navy and Thomas Telford in their amber and maroon kits. Whitgift led out by your number one Caballero shootout.
So going through the two teams, the Whitgift with Juan Pablo Caballero, I should say, the Real Madrid trialist, whose parents are actually Colombian. Javier Benjamin will be easy to identify, their skipper. And you'll see the name of Steve Kember there. He's actually the assistant with this team to Andrew Martin, both former professionals, but Steve Kember, a very, very good player in his day. Here is the Thomas Telford School lineup, captained by Oliver Tipton, who even takes the warm-up. A really good leader.
13, John Endersby. 15, Ed Miller.
And they're in the charge of Matt Lowe, who has some success in the Schools Cup last year when he coached the Thomas Telford B team to the final of their competition and won it at Reading's Medeski Stadium. Reading substitutes. From the Thomas Telford point of view, Matt was keen just to go with 4 substitutes so that players not involved with this side could have a chance to compete for the B team in their competition.
Yeah, I know Steve Kember very well. I know Whitgift very well. And in my neck of the woods, South London. Been to the school a couple of times. Incredible facilities. Great pedigree of producing some fine sportsmen. Steve Kember, of course, familiar from my playing days.
Steve Kember managed Crystal Palace in the Championship, played in the top flight for Palace, for Chelsea, for Leicester City. Midfield player, was a big favourite of Terry Venables.
Yeah.
And he's assisting a former Crystal Palace striker who takes most of the team squad sessions, Andy Martin, who won a national schools final himself in his native Wales as a rugby player, but made a career in football, represented Wales at under-21 level, scored in league football for Palace and played alongside the likes of Clinton Morrison and Hayden Mullins, Terry Phelan, even Ashley Cole during a loan spell that he had at Crystal Palace. 5 years on the Whitgift school staff for Andrew Martin, the man in charge. Thomas Telford gets underway. Tyler Roberts. Here is Tipton, the captain, at right back. Barrett to Pierpont, the 2 centre-backs. Left back here is Bradley Taylor. He might just run for Jack Tolley to chase. And he's got himself in the clear, and he's got Tyler Roberts with him. And Roberts has a fantastic chance here, and it's a wonderful save by Juan Pablo Caballero, but couldn't deal with the second effort. And Thomas Telford have got an early lead here. A goal inside 40 seconds, and just look what it means to them. Looked like they might have survived their Whitgift. That is absolutely smashed past Caballero.
Yeah, emphatic finish. Lovely little run down the wing, wasn't it? Got away from his defender. Tyler Roberts with the initial shot. Jack Tolley did ever so well, didn't he? Broke down, got the space, looked as though he was going to shoot, had the wherewithal, presence of mind to pass the ball, slip it in field, and well, ultimately that bright start has paid dividends for Thomas Telford. Off to a cracking start.
Now, Matt Lowe was telling me yesterday he thinks that Kyle Issamore has probably been the most consistent performer, the real engine of the team in the run to the final, and he just lashed that in when it appeared as if the chance might have gone. And not even a Real Madrid trialist could stop it. Which runs away from Candola to Ben Clark into the path of Benjamin.
Well, that really would have rocked Whitgift to the core.
Such a good stop here. Tolley had a big chance.
Yeah.
It just bounced off the arm of Caballero. It was inviting enough for Kyle Issamore. And actually the keeper got a hand to that one too, but could only push it up into the roof of the net. Kyle Issamore has given Thomas Telford a lead inside 40 seconds here.
What a start. They looked very confident with the whistle going, knocking the ball around, zipping it on this lovely, wonderful surface. Quick surface because of the rain that we've had. A little slip on halfway line, wasn't there, in the build-up to it. Played a part from Whitgift's undoing. But take nothing away. The fact that they swept forward in numbers, and that was the key for me. Got forward and supported Jack Tolley when he broke down the side, came in and supported Tyler Roberts. Dream start.
Thomas Telford goalkeeper is Jack Stewart, has been beaten just 5 times en route to the final. One of 8 in the Thomas Telford squad who are on Wolverhampton Wanderers' books. No limit on the number of academy players that you can field in the Open Boys tournament. Here's Tipton. Taken in his stride impressively by Tolley. Well dealt with though by Ben Clark. Barrett goes forward to Crompton. Forced away by Raymond. Raymond's going to have to deal with that. Looks like it might run out of play. Here's Taylor. Slightly overhit for his namesake Adam in front of him. Bradley, the left back, Adam Taylor, the left-sided midfield player. Unrelated. Whitgift just trying to clear their heads and settle now. Chance for Thomas Blake to bring them forward. Here's Raymond. Blake. He's a really elusive runner, just forced off the ball by Tipton. Stewart can clear his lines. Raymond's first touch was excellent. It's winning the throw-in.
Doesn't he do well? Caballero coming out, smothering the initial shot and the follow-up. Hit hard, fingertips to it, but can't do enough to get it over the bar.
They've got another chance here with Tolley going clear, but Caballero is in charge of this situation. His parents are Colombian, as indeed is David Ospina, and you'll remember a great Colombian goalkeeper from the past, John René Higuita, he of the scorpion kick.
No, of course.
A rich goalkeeping tradition in that particular South American country. And that's Caballero's heritage. And he has had trials with Real Madrid. 2 trips to Spain in the last year, having been released by Crystal Palace at the age of 11. How on earth can you make your mind up came out of football at the age of 11.
The system's very difficult for young players making their way in the professional game at an academy at a young age. It's going to run out, is it? It's just surface water just beginning to have a slight impact on this game. First time in the 3 days. You can see the technical area sort of as swamped as it's ever been.
And Steve Kember on the left under the hood. Crompton. Pierpoint. Barrett played into a tight situation, but he's more than capable of dealing with it. Lissimore to Tipton. Here's Pierpoint. Look at footballing side, Thomas Telford. They certainly want to play it out from the back.
Yeah, I've been impressed with this lad on the ball now. Tipton, captain. Very good.
From Roberts. Tipton going on here. Guided in towards Adam Taylor. Really good football that from Thomas Telford. Absolute credit to Matt Lowe, their coach. And it is a school that won 9 national titles during 2016. Fantastic tradition.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
And they're at it again here in Derby this week. It didn't take long for them to get at it in this game.
It's funny, it's infectious, isn't it? Winning habits. It brings focus to the different year groups, the different teams, the heritage that the school have got. They've got a winning formula.
They've certainly made a winning start here. Daniel Berry with the throw-in for Whitgift. Looks like it's going to be a good technical game, this. Very proficient young footballers on the field. And they look like they've been coached to play the game the right way too.
Yeah, we're just looking back to the under-12 Open Schools final that started us off this morning. First game of 5. This is the 3rd game. Thomas Telford actually went 2 goals down against Riddlesdown Collegiate School and thought they wouldn't come back into the game, but they did. Equalised through a substitute and went on to win it on penalties, 4-3.
It's Candola trying to get forward, and he was just held back. Free kick to Thomas Telford. Crompton to Lissimore. Barrett. Tipton. Tyler Roberts is having his shirt tugged by Jaden Raymond right under the nose of the linesman who's given it the other way.
Yeah, just looking at the water, you can see it's really starting to cause 1 or 2 problems for the players.
Tight in midfield. Crompton winning that duel. Tipton forward. Helped on by Candola into the path of Tyler Roberts. Skips away from Raymond, finds a cross. First touch just let Tolly down a little. Crompton trying to keep it alive.
Great work from Tyler Roberts down the right-hand side, just gave it a little shimmy.
It was a big tackle on Crompton by Thomas Smith flying in. And Whitgift have got the decision. Crompton did react to it. I must admit, I thought Thomas Smith's original tackle was on the vigorous side.
Just coming in here.
Wow, that's not a foul. That is.
That's the reaction. But first one, I think you're spot on.
There's Ben Clark. Centre-back who's an even better rugby player than he is a footballer. He's part of the Harlequins youth setup, already a national schools rugby champion this year with Whitgift. He's got some defending to do here, and he's managed to catch up with Jack Tolley and smuggle it clear. Two or three lads from the winning national rugby team of Whitgift in this football side.
Yeah, he looks a good athlete, powerful.
Looks like he can look after himself, that's for sure.
Under 13.
Raymond with a really important clearance. That was perilous defending. Perilous pass out. And Tipton will have a goal, and Caballero, thankfully for him, had his body behind it.
Well, that was crucial, wasn't it? Getting his body behind it. How many times do we see somebody go and try and pick it up with their arms? Get your body behind it when it's skidding on this sort of surface. Maybe worth an effort. All right, this lad, Oliver Tipton, at right back.
This is Benjamin. Picked off easily enough by Bradley Taylor. Now Cameron Candola. It's a nicely balanced athlete, unbalanced by the sliding challenge by Javier Benjamin, but at the expense of a corner kick to Thomas Telford.
Yeah, 2v1 doubled up on the danger. It's good from Whitgift.
Candola's the danger man. He's scored in every round en route to this final, including a couple in the semi against Cannon Slade at Bolton. Number 9, Cameron Candola. Still it comes down. Both Pierpoint and Barrett are forward from the back, the two centre-backs, and it's in towards Barrett, who tried to flick it on. The referee wants the corner retaken. Wait for the whistle. And Tipton has made a late run into the box here, and Crompton with a fresh air shot. And somehow it eluded everybody. And Whitgift can bring it away with Thomas Blake. Number 6 is Hampstead. Vigor just run off the ball. Flags up here. And Tyler Roberts was on the way back.
Yeah. It's been caught coming back out. It's good from Whitgift to squeeze up and get a good line defensively. We'll take this game to Thomas Telford now, trying up the ante. Got to get into good areas.
Clark with the free kick. Looking for Mooney, but unable to find it. But this might find Mooney. Well played by Vigor. Mooney has got support. It's a real chance for an equalizer and a total miscue at the far post. I think James Sweet had the chance. Vigor, Hampstead back on the ball though for Whitgift. Trying to force a corner at least. And it was a chance, and it was James Sweet, the midfield player on Arsenal's books, who had that opportunity at the far post.
Well, you wonder how many chances they're going to get. It was a great opportunity, wasn't it? Matt Vigor, lovely ball into Hampstead. And then at the far post, there he was. And you thought he was favourite to tuck that one away. Here he is.
Here is Sweet. He's found Hampstead. Sweet will provide the cross this time. Come out for Raymond. There was a bad bounce there. It just skidded past him. He's done well to keep his feet there. And the challenge was not to the referee's liking by Tyler Roberts.
No, that was because he got his body in first, sliding in using the surface, but unfairly took the player out.
Well, Finn Mooney seems to fancy this one. Top scorer of the last 2 seasons. Young man on Crystal Palace's books. Scored 2 in the under-12 final at Reading last year, Finn Mooney. And he doesn't think this is beyond him. Sheward's got a 2-man wall. Mooney going for goal. Oh, side netting.
Well, that's a brilliant effort. It really is. That had everything. A good free kick. Apart from hitting the target, he's done everything right. Pace, direction almost there. Whips it in. Keeper's scrambling to get across, and in the end...
Mooney's having another go just out of shot. That's just rising over the crossbar.
Yeah, I remember Phil Mooney from last year. One or two of these players impressed me then, they're impressing me again here.
And they've settled now, Whitgift, after that early shot, losing a goal inside of a minute. They've got a base camp in the game now. They've started to express themselves a little bit. It looks like it's going to be a really good match.
Well, it's certainly something that these Thomas Telford boys are drilled in. Start the game brightly. It's exactly the same comments they made in the opening game for the under-12s this morning. Small-sided game, but the same philosophy applied. Start well, start bright, zip the ball about. But since then, Whitgift have come back in and growing in stature in the game as it goes on.
Javier Benjamin trying to find Sweet. Candola, Benjamin's there and all over him. Referee's penalised Javier Benjamin. He's the captain, the leader of the group. Candola, it's just a little loose.
Yeah, I was just thinking whether they've got the cover. We've got the stand here, the main stand that we're all in, opposite to the camera. And luckily for those supporters, they're sheltered.
It's May, isn't it? Here's Tolley. Roberts. Now Tipton. Roberts has got a nice jink, hasn't he? And a little bit of acceleration, and he's found Jack Tolley here. And so too is Jaden Raymond with the challenge. Corner given.
He gets back well. Jaden Raymond. There he is. But you're right. Tyler Roberts got lovely body movement, hasn't he? Well balanced either side to go inside, outside. Taking this corner.
Driven in towards Crompton, who got a flick on. Flicked it away as luck would have it. James Sweet is able to seize upon the ball towards Mooney. Beaten to it though by Bradley Taylor.
Same again. Offside, coming back, sloppy. And Whitgift, well done for coming out quickly in a line, disciplined. I don't think Matt Lowe will be too impressed with the way that his two centre forwards came back out into line.
A little bit of jeopardy now on passing the ball because of that surface water. Both teams have clearly been schooled into that kind of approach. They may just have to adapt a little bit. Clark forward. Goalkeepers are going to have to be alert too as the ball runs through towards them. Ball to take charge of the edge of the penalty area as Schuart did there. Bradley Taylor up towards Adam Taylor. Crompton's there. It's beyond Candola, and Daniel Berry's there with a clear. Clark almost got underneath that, adjusted well. Blake. Tackling each other now. And that was a little late, sliding in. Ben Clark, the victim of Tyler Roberts' rash challenge. There's going to be one or two like that on this surface. There's going to be one or two like that too.
Absolutely. The referee just having a chat with him. Tyler Roberts. Oliver Tipton comes over. The captain just having a word, asking them to calm it down, settle it down.
I think at all levels, referees have got to make allowances for these kind of conditions. They almost tempt you into sliding in.
Yeah, and once you go to ground, that's it. Your momentum's just going to carry you on this sort of surface. It's very difficult, very awkward. You want to be competitive. It's a cup final. You're going to lunge, and it's much easier to lose your footing.
Here's Lissamore, who got the early goal. He's outnumbered there, though, and he's in a little bit of trouble, and James Sweet can come forward for Whitgift.
Yeah, good work from Whitgift. Disappointing final ball from Sweet. Got to do better.
Pierpoint. Dealt with by Thomas Smith. And he can't quite reach that. Here's Tipton. Picked off this time by Raymond. Smith. Sweet. Raymond still involved in the attack from left back. Berry, the right back, has got forward. This is Hampstead. Here is Berry. A lot of blue Whitgift shirts forward here. Berry just got caught there, and he has got his decision. The referee thought about playing advantage, but it was aware that Daniel Berry had been hurt. He's just been released by Chelsea, Daniel Berry. Conditions getting ever more difficult.
Well, they've got two good little fullbacks, haven't they? Whitgift. Jaden Raymond getting up and getting involved in the game. There he is.
Yeah, he's part of the Welsh national squad too, Jaden. His mum's Welsh, and his coach. Not that I'm sure he was under any pressure.
So he's got to have a go at goal here, hasn't he? Left foot.
Raymond to strike it. He felt it was deflected on the way through. Goal kick's been given.
Get confirmation. This is probably a corner.
Might just have brushed ahead on the end of the wall. Don't think it was ever on target.
I don't think it was it? It was such a slight touch, if any.
Tell us. Ooh, came off an arm, actually, a raised arm.
Yeah.
Not a deliberate handball by any stretch of anybody's imagination by Ben Crompton, but good work by Tyler Roberts. I must admit, I'm of the opinion far too many handballs are given at the senior end of the game. Deliberate is all the referee's got to decide. Tipton towards Candola. Seen off by Clark.
This is the trouble once a new rule comes in. Referees find it very difficult. They've got used to such a pattern of play and managing the game. I agree with you.
Good work by Berry. Might have run that for Mooney. He was just looking in the wrong direction. They both got a little fooled by the scuffed clearance.
Well,
Candola, strong play that. Really, really strong play. And Tyler Roberts is just onside, I think. Raymond's recovered well. Good athlete.
Yeah, reads the game really well. Doesn't dive in until absolutely necessary. Stays on his feet. Really good little battle there with Tyler Roberts over on that far side. Just wonder whether Tyler Roberts might switch wings or play more narrow. Try and affect this game in a different way.
Confident play by Xavier Benjamin. Here's Thomas Smith. Jaden Raymond. Now Sweet. And towards Finn Mooney. He's got in behind them here, Mooney. Turned into a good position. Almost an opportunity for Blake. Might still be. Oh, it was deflected on the way through and very well dealt with by Jack Sheward leaning backwards, because there was a deflection as that found its way through to him from Matt Vigor's shot.
Yeah, a couple of opportunities for Matt Vigor. Switches back onto his left foot here. Big swing of the foot. There's the deflection.
Emil Barrett. And then the goalkeeper's heart-stopping moment. Rescued by his agility.
Yeah, I think grateful for the conditions there. Ball holding up, just slowing down a fraction. May well have saved that ball from crossing the line.
Tipton up towards Candola, and look at this now for Jack Tolley. Clark trying to recover and does so. Corner kick, could have been a lot worse that for Whitgift.
Yeah, lovely work. First from Tipton, showing some really good touches, good service, good distribution, really impressive. And then Candola setting Tolley away.
Tyler Roberts will take the corner. And towards Crompton. Dealt with by Sweet.
Same again, carbon copy of the previous corner, wasn't it?
Blake caught in possession by Tipton. He's had an imposing start to the match. He's won a corner kick. Leading by example, the skipper.
Yep. No, is this going to be Tyler Roberts to that near post area? Ben Crompton not able to get an effect on the ball. I think 2 times in a row that's happened.
Just waiting for the centre-backs. Barrett and Pierpoint are both in there. Got to work it short with Tipton this time. Roberts held up. And Raymond's managed to force him out of possession. Here's Thomas Blake. Mooney. Dealt with by the goal scorer, Lissimore.
Gets back well. Goal side first. Sees the throw in. Delays Whitgift in the momentum.
Ball one slipped out of Raymond's hands there. Gosh, it's difficult to control, but play did ever so well. It did just run out of play, but it was fired in at him. There's nothing of him. They call him the little legend, Thomas Blake, which is quite a nickname to live up to.
Yeah.
There's not much of him.
Great touch,
control that.
Go over the line, yes. Just got it right.
One for Candola to chase. Clark again proving a difficult obstacle to get beyond. Roberts. Tolley. Chance though for Viger to set up a counter-attack, with the conditions becoming ever more hazardous.
Oh, that's where you've got to keep it out of those central areas, for me. Space down the flanks, both left and right. I think that's where Whitgift may get some joy. Centrally, they look strong, powerful. Thomas Telford in those central defensive areas. Try and get the 2 fullbacks.
Sweet's won the ball here, and this is Mooney. Good check by Mooney. Trying to feed it through to Viger.
Well, that's where you can see Daniel Berry pushing on down the right. Would have liked to have seen Jaden Raymond push on down the left. They had good possession.
Came off the head of Pierpoint. Bounced out for a corner. Javier Benjamin's up from the back. Finn Mooney's gone out to take it. Raymond's tall, the left back, he's in there too. Mooney takes really, really well. That's a perilous corner to deal with, and there's a foul on the goalkeeper by Javier Benjamin.
Yeah.
Really good delivery from Finn Mooney.
Well, it's a horrible hanging ball, isn't it? Frustrating from Whitgift's perspective that they conceded a foul when the keeper was struggling with that one. Just looking at this Whitgift side, yeah, for me, those fullbacks got to try and push on. They've got Thomas Smith, number 4, who's just going to sit in front of the back 4. I think that just might allow the 2 fullbacks to push on. I think they need that width, especially in these conditions. There now, Jaden, push on.
Here is Raymond. Smith.
Very good, those sort of hopeful balls.
Candola just a little extravagant with one or two of his touches. They can't afford to give up possession so easily. Here's Jaden Raymond again. Whitgift growing in the game. Vigor on the ball. He's bundled to the floor by Connor Barrett.
Now, cardinal sin for a centre-half coming out, conceding a free kick in an area that's totally unnecessary. There you see the shove in the back.
Particularly with Mooney's delivery, which we've seen already. I think Mooney's come out to take this one too.
Through this challenge. Free kick conceded unnecessarily if they are to get an equalizer here.
Raymond and Benjamin are in there again. It's very, very well defended. And there's an offside been given.
Well, I'm not so sure. I was watching that. Drifted in there early. Number
Maybe
5.
Xavier Benjamin made a peeling run round the back of the line. Difficult to see exactly when the free kick was given there. Linesman's got the best view. And it's a terrific contest this now, Sweet. He's had Whitgift's best chance so far. Smith trying to get Berry forward down that right-hand side. On by Tolley. Benjamin doesn't even think about going back to his goalkeeper, not in these conditions. Smith. Berry. Robbed by Taylor. Here's Candola. Tolley has made the run forward, tracked by Clark.
Yeah, that's great.
I feel sorry for the two coaches as well as the players. They're obviously footballing size. They've reached this final with semi-final victories a month ago. What a good header that is, by the way, by Tipton again. And they clearly want to play the right way, but the surface is now becoming ever more difficult for passing teams.
I think it was probably Xavier Benjamin on his looping run from that free kick, just drifted offside. But yeah, conditions as difficult as they've ever been.
Thomas Telford have already got one trophy to their name today. Pass it around, boys. Oliver Sipaluka saved from that.
It's a super game. They had to claw their way back into a game. Found themselves 2-0 down against Riddlesdown. Took it to penalties. Stuck at it very well.
From clear by Stewart. Candola was offside, came from an offside position. Smith. Clark. Suggesting that Blake was bundled over there, but nothing doing. Roberts. Only take the weight off it though for Hampstead. Whitgift get the decision. Smith looking to get on with it. Roberts isn't letting him go that way. Here's Benjamin. Smith again, a real continuity player, little Thomas Smith. A couple of touches, move it on. It's a mistake though by Berry, which has been repaired by Benjamin. Berry getting a decision from Candola, who's going to get a yellow card here.
Yeah, just tripped him. No need. Here's the little back heel, is it? Trip.
Candola cautioned. And the referee will forgive full-blooded sliding challenges, but there was a little bit of cynicism about that. He just hooked him back. Xavier Benjamin's going to leave this to Thomas Smith to take. In towards Benjamin. He's cleared Thomas Telford's lines for them. Tolley up towards Candola. Berry in the way. Fired into Mooney. Difficult one to control. Tipton away. Raymond. Roberts has done well, used his body well then. Candola was in an offside position. He was, in fairness to him, he was hoping for an earlier ball forward, but it was difficult for Tyler Roberts really to get his head up under pressure and deliver that pass.
Yeah, Thomas Telford gone essentially to 5 at the back, with Adam Taylor dropping back into the left-back spot. Oliver Tipton in his traditional sort of wing-back, right-back spots. 3 centre-halves, 4 in midfield. So they're really getting the bodies back behind this.
Raymond to Mooney. Just forced off the ball, though, by Barrett at the expense of a corner.
Yeah, Candola being left to be the lone striker, as you would expect with this slender lead, I think.
3 added minutes for playing. Half of those, half of that time. Maybe one lost opportunity for Whitgift to reply in this first half. Really good delivery again under the crossbar from Mooney. Really good defending again. Tremendous work by Blake. Here's Mooney once more. In towards Sweet. Just fell behind him and away from Benjamin, who couldn't react. Berry maybe. Good switch of feet. Hampstead. Benjamin still forward. Hampstead couldn't quite find him. And that's the end of a closely contested first half. The first action of the game was the critical action of the game. Kai Lissimore scoring in no time at all to give Thomas Telford a lead that they've been able to defend. Whitgift have had opportunities, one in particular falling to James Sweet, which might have been taken. You feel as if there's plenty in this match. If the rain would just stop, it would be a very good match indeed.
Yeah, a little bit spoiled by the conditions. Very tricky conditions. Just going to have a little chat about the pitch.
1-0 Thomas Telford lead at half-time. There's a confirmation of that. We didn't have to wait very long for that one and only goal.
It was a slip, wasn't it? And then break down the wing. Fantastic work by Jack Tolley. You think he's going to shoot? Slides it in. Tyler Roberts beautifully blocked, and then the follow-up. Well, emphatic from Lissimore. There you go. Came out, stood tall, stood big. Gets a fingertips on this follow-up, but can do nothing.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get big enough for that one, could he? We have to stress that normally these under-13s play with a crossbar set at 7 feet, and these are the full-size 8-foot goals. So Cabarero's just got a little bit more to defend than he's used to, and he pushed it up but couldn't push it over the bar, and Lissimore celebrated.
Yeah, and what a start to the game for them. Absolutely fantastic. High tempo, high intensity. They got their rewards, and, well, just as I said before, got the feeling that they'll have the 5 at the back, the 4 in midfield. How are Whitgift going to respond?
It's far from done, that's for sure. At half-time in the Under-13 Open Schools Cup final, Thomas Telford lead Whitgift School by 1-0. The second half of the Under-13 Open Boys Final is about to begin. And just in case you're wondering if something's a little different from the first half, yes, Whitgift have changed into their second strip of white shirts and black shorts for this second half. To change the scoreline or the task facing them, they've been behind from the opening minute of the game. since Kai Lissamore gave Thomas Telford the lead. We've had a little bit of work done on the pitch during the half-time interval. The ground staff here really were trying to do the impossible in terms of soaking up some of the surface water. The conditions are not the best, let's face it.
Well, the players got to get it out of that centre circle area. Use the flanks, use the wings, get the fullbacks pushed on, and going to find it very hard work down that whole central area, box to box.
Here's Smith. It's a shame the pass just wouldn't quite reach Ollie Hampstead. Thomas Smith again. They really are going to have to adapt their style. Weigott looking for Blake. Candola has just been penalised for holding off Benjamin. Raymond. It's going to be a throw into Whitgift.
Well, really impressed with this lad, Jaden Raymond.
This is Sweet. Now Smith. Woodnham's an awkward moment and a chance for Mooney, which is quickly snuffed out. Barrett and Pierpoint just managed to combine to clear their lines, but that was anxious defending. Tipton away towards Candola. Clark's there. Hampstead to Berry. Cut out by Crompton. One back and turned by Hampstead.
Yeah, Hampstead did well there, and the ball out here wide. He really drilled, knowing the surface water needed that extra little bit of zip. Oh, just didn't get the 1-2 back to him.
That's strong play by Clark. He's forced it forward. This wouldn't quite run for Finn Mooney. Here's Thomas Blake. James Sweet. Blake might come for Weigott. Lovely little back heel. Mooney trying to get free. Good recovery in the end by Barrett, but some really imaginative attacking play by Whitgift. Deserved better reward, really.
Yeah, it did. Lovely little ball in here from James Sweet. Into Blake. Lets it go. Weigott. Lovely little back heel. Just can't get on the end of it, can they?
Corner right under the... Oh, I was going to say right under the crossbar. It was just over the crossbar, which was probably just as well for Jack Sheward. It's a big, big reach for an under-13s goalkeeper.
Look at that. Dreadful conditions, isn't it? There we go. Like you were saying in the first half, the referee has got to take into consideration what's going on here. A little tug back from Xavier Benjamin.
Candola winning the free kick. There's Tolley. Strong play though by Xavier Benjamin. I'm kind of caught in two minds here, John, because part of me is thinking that not only the referee got to adapt, but the players and the coaching staff have got to adapt. But in many ways, at under-13 level, how you play rather than whether you win or not is almost as important. And both these teams have been properly coached. You can see how they want to play.
Yeah.
But they're now on a surface where it's almost impossible to play the way they've been taught to play. Here's some strong play by James Sweet. Bulldozing forward, trying to feed it in towards Mooney.
Well, I think the only thing you've got to think about is you've got to use your common sense and know where the areas are that can play. So on the near side, You know, it looks, I know that's the other side for us, looking across the pitch, and may well be wet over there, but it looks the driest areas, those wide wing parts of the game, corner parts of the pitch. Full-backs have got to push on, work those areas better than knocking it into the middle of the pitch here.
But there is a temptation to go long, really, now, isn't there? Has to be.
Well, it's inevitable, isn't it?
I mean, that kind of pass from Xavier Benjamin, again, he's been schooled and coached to play that kind of pass, but it's just so hazardous in these conditions. Weigel with the foul. It's difficult. Matt Lowe and Andrew Martin have obviously coached these teams in the way that everybody associated with the SFA would want the game to be coached, to these academy players, fine young, some of the best young under-14 players in the country. But really, that's the ball which is more likely to come up with some dividends.
We don't want to see that, do we?
Smith with a longer ball this time. In towards little Blake, seized upon by Tipton. Now's a chance perhaps for Candola. He's got Tyler Roberts up with him. Support from Tolly too. Candola still going, but eventually dispossessed by Jaden Raymond. Strong run by Mooney. He's managed to pounce upon a slip. Link up with Weigel. Can he get his shot in? There's the answer. Fine defending by Bradley Taylor.
Brilliant defending all round.
Really good back four, that, Thomas Telford.
It is, isn't it? Solid, good understanding between them. No weakness there, is there, at the moment?
Sweet. Smith fed into Mooney, hacked away by Pierpoint. Here's Raymond. Fed in towards Weigel. Would you believe the ball ran just when you thought it might hold up in the water? It ran away from Matt Weigel. It was a good pass that from Jaden Raymond. A particularly good turn, which left poor Tyler Roberts looking a little embarrassed. Adam Taylor. Candola couldn't control it. It's been difficult for Cameron Candola to really get into the game. Here's Sweet. Clipped into the path of Daniel Berry, and again the ball picks up pace rather than stopping this time. It's a two-faced pitch in many ways.
Yep.
Quite sure what it's going to do when it lands.
It was intriguing to look at Whitgift. Are they going to force their way back into this game?
They were 2 down at half-time to local rivals Ravenswood in the last 32 back in January. They won that 6-4. So they've got character as well as ability. Strong play by Crompton, but that was a little dangerous, the pass. Finn Mooney was upon it.
Pierpoint does well. Again, central of that defence.
You gave man of the match to a defender in the last match, John. You can't keep doing it. Looking after your centre-backs.
You can... Well, if I can't, nobody can.
Certainly, if any creative player is able to put his stamp on the game in conditions as testing as these, he will be deserving of a man of the match award. It's not easy for defenders, but it's a little easier for them facing the game just to get it clear. Berry with the throw. Tolly run off the ball. Strong challenge by number 8, Sweet. Benjamin wasn't quite sure whether that was going to reach him or not. Smith again trying to ply his trade and pass it. Candola is offside.
Just. Again, like the first half, a couple of occasions, there's no excuse to be offside.
Here's Raymond. He's a really assertive fullback. Fancied his chances there from 25 yards. Raymond. This is Sweet. Played into Hampstead. Adam Taylor can't get it away. Hampstead to Smith, now Sweet. Just don't want to change direction. Just a little flick from Mooney. Well intentioned, but Blake was never going to catch it with that.
I thought Oliver Hampstead has had a good game in midfield there. Reads the game well, trying to pick things at number 6 for Whitgift.
Weigel is trying to lift it forward towards Mooney. Again, fine defending this time from Conor Barrett.
Well, there's just no way through for them, is there, at all? I wonder if there'll be a change or how they can find little pockets of space. You feel like it could be a give and go. 1-2 on the edge of the box. Now are they going to unpick this formidable Thomas Telford defence? Theon Mooney been kept really quiet, hasn't he, so far? Whitgift's top goal scorer.
Here's Clark, though, into Sweet. Could change of direction in the circumstances. He's carried the ball so well. There's a go, and he scored! James Sweet. It's a bad moment for Jack Stewart. Not a day for goalkeepers. And James Sweet, who in truth had Whitgift's best first half chance, just a speculative effort from range, and it slithered in past Jack Stewart.
Well, watch it hit the ground just in front of him. Talked about, I think, the first half, how important it is to get the body behind the ball. And this time he doesn't get right behind it. And so often you see it. Just hits in front of the keeper and spins off the surface. And they found their way back into this game.
Well, he was outstanding in the under-12s last year. Well, almost an immediate reply, Caballero having to make an immediate save. But James Sweet was one of Whitgift's best players in their under-12 success last year.
Tolley cuts inside, unleashes that strike. He does well in the end. Caballero on his...
Sweet's had a little bit injury problems since then. Hamstring issue this year and a fractured wrist too. He's only just got back into action. And now he's got a goal in the final. And it's 1-1. Plenty going on in there.
Well, I think Sweet's trying to move more into a more central role in this second half. Get involved in central areas and affect the game more than maybe he did in the first half.
Yeah, he sort of started out on the right-hand side, but during the first half, that a little bit more compact in that area. Smith sort of holding and Sweet here, and Hampstead playing just in front of him. There is Smith. That's early forward for Finn Mooney to chase. Goalkeeper had to be alert and was. Good work by Stewart, who'll be cursing himself for not having kept out that shot, but it's just so difficult. Benjamin really fancied his chances there. In the end, just
well, they were
too strong for Candola.
Both at it, weren't they?
Mooney, it's surely a foul by Bradley Taylor. There's a bit of shirt tugging going on by Pierpoint before that.
So they bring 3 kits. Another change. Well, I was talking about how to avoid the back four, because how formidable they were, Thomas Telford. And that's the way. Route 1, direct.
He went with his feet, really, didn't he?
Yeah, it was poor decision from the keeper. He's been good, but really should have got his body behind it.
This is Dylan Williams, who first left back, but he's Very versatile player on in place of Adam Taylor down that left-hand side. Candola. Forward by Lissimore. Away by Clark. Sweet. Let's run off it by Lissimore. And Roberts.
Oh, he wants to deal with that.
Benjamin just let it run across his body, but it didn't find a way through. Mackenzie Gulliver has come on too. There have been a couple of substitutions by Thomas Telford. Gulliver got a hat-trick in one of the early rounds, so he's got something about him. But left-footed number 14.
Well, I was just going to say, I think the players have realised that they are left with absolutely no option but to go route one, because they're taking such a risk if they try and play it on the floor in very specific areas. You know, 70–80% of the pitch is really tricky. It's only the corners, the widest areas that aren't so bad.
It's really picked off though by Barrett. Cleared by Tipton.
Well, anybody's game now. 1-1.
Just to confirm, it was Mackenzie Gulliver who came on and not Dylan Williams. Gulliver, number 14, on the left of the Thomas Telford midfield.
Yeah, and that's the dilemma you've got in those midfield areas. Classic example there from Oliver Hampstead. Knows he's got to sort of drill the pass, but if it's not as accurate as possible, to be out for a throw-in as it was there.
Candola. Played forward by Crompton. Roberts trying to keep it alive for Tully. Pierpoint is there. Raymond. It's beyond Vigor, and Pierpoint on duty again. Only trying to get clear. Tipton with the cover. Ticking towards the final quarter of this match. Raymond really is anybody's. Sweet. Falls down for Candola. Run off it by Hampstead. Smith trying to force it back. Benjamin came sliding in. Referee gives him the benefit of the doubt. Raymond. Blake. Knocked away by Lissimore. There's Gulliver.
Oh, good ball.
It's a testing ball, wasn't it? One certainly for Tyler Roberts to chase, but Raymond is very athletic, had it covered.
It's like watching Marcelo. Aiden Raymond, those little great runs, the chop back in. It's being pegged back now.
Candola. Intercepted by Zayden Raymond. Here's James Sweet. Candola getting through the work. Difficult for him to get into the game as an attacking player, but he's not slacking off at all. Here's Vigor. Clearance by Tipton. A bit better than a clearance. Jack Tollier trying to make something of it. And Clark just trying to ease him off the ball and did so.
Yeah, but he was lucky because he tried to ease him off the ball and nearly mistimed it, missed the player, and Thomas Telford would have been in.
Bradley Taylor. A run for Thomas Smith. Here's James Sweet. Vigor just never quite reached him. Crompton sorted that. Tyler Roberts can't run into the middle of the field. That's where it's at its wettest, and Finn Mooney trying to make the most of those drier flags. Mooney's cross forced away by Alessandro Pierpoint. And Jaden Raymond, I should say, and he looking to test out Jack Stewart again.
Oh, he's way out of the box there.
Give him a chance. It's a big field. Allowed to come a bit further. It's a full-size pitch. It's been a good contest that, because Oliver Tips has looked very assured, but Thomas Blake's tried to give him something to think about down this flank. He had to watch that very carefully, Jack Stewart, particularly after what happened to him a few minutes ago. He was up to it.
Oh, look. How far do you go? How far do you go?
Candola's going to come off. Hasn't been his day at all, really. And Joe Hubbard will come on in his place. He was in that national championship winning team, B team last year at Reading. He's got his chance now in place of Thomas Telford's most reliable goal scorer. It's like Hubbard might fulfill a slightly different role over on the right-hand side. It's like Tyler Roberts has gone up in front of Jack Tolley.
Well, they've got to readjust now. Thomas Telford.
This is Sweet. Ollie Hampstead trying to thread it through to Mooney. Might come for Vigor. There's a chance here for Daniel Berry, the right back. And that's really, really good defending by Mackenzie Gulliver, the substitute. Made his first big contribution of the game to deny Daniel Berry.
You don't get long in this game, do you? Daniel Berry gets the ball to his feet. 4 players coming across to block it. Gulliver with a vital interception.
Mooney with the set piece into a really good area. Javert Benjamin couldn't quite connect with it. Roberts trying to find a way out, presented it to Hampstead. Here's Smith, really alert pass to pick up Finn Mooney.
Oh,
It's
brilliant.
a tremendous challenge by Bradley Taylor.
Well, he read the game so well, didn't he? Read the situation.
You've got to get those right in these conditions. One slip and the referee's pointed to the spot.
Yeah.
Daniel Berry was on Chelsea's books until recently. Right back. Hampstead. Smith into Vigor. Hampstead again, going a little bit longer, looking for Blake. This is Tolley, who's now the main front man. Here's the substitute Hubbard. Roberts. Crompton into the path of Gulliver, trying to make an impact in the other half of the field. He's got another chance here, Gulliver. Turned away by Smith, only as far as Taylor. Tolley couldn't quite find Roberts. So strong as Javert Benjamin. Taylor forward again.
Well, it's very difficult because you've got it now in your mind that you've got to hit the ball with real pace. Of course, if you lift the ball off the surface, then it's going to go that much further. It's an indication how the players are really struggling to get the ball down and play. Conditions
got
worse
it down
and worse.
there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Here's Blake. He'll run for Blake. He won't run for Berry, though. It's the 4th year of the ESFA's partnership with PlayStation to stage these finals. The first year we've been away from the Medeski Stadium in Reading. Originally we were going to Stoke, but there's building work at the stadium there. Here we are in Derby. I think the rain's been pretty persistent throughout the country today. I'm not suggesting it would have been any better in Reading. Vigor to Mooney. Tracked all the way by Barrett.
You've got to say, Whitgift have responded brilliantly in this second half. They've got the breakthrough, they've got back on level terms. They're the ones pushing.
Into Mooney. Just couldn't quite set up Hampstead, that man. Tipton saw to that. And he's asked an awful lot of Robertson Tolley now. Yeah, they're the more likely, really, Whitgift.
Yep.
Behind in the first minute, let's not forget. Smith. Come back for Roberts, dealt with by Clark.
We would go straight to penalties if it finishes level at the end of the allotted time. Yeah, just waiting for another change.
Number 12 is Dylan Williams, who comes on for Ben Crompton. Yet to dip into their substitutes. Dylan Williams, as I said a little bit earlier, is really a very versatile player. Prefers left back, but he can play anywhere midfield. That's where he's going to be. One thing that Matt Lowe's not going to do is disturb this very solid back four. Clark, Benjamin. He's got an aura about in the Thomas Telford skipper.
He's very confident, isn't he?
And he couldn't quite make anything of it. Jaden Raymond. Thomas Blake. I think Tipton has just had the better of the contest, but it's been a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the two back fours. I think very, very impressive from both sides. Not really great weakness there. All playing on a very high level.
Goalkeeper's clearance only as far as Vigor, but he couldn't control it as it came to him. Bradley Taylor downfield. Has just gone out of play. See Des Little there, and alongside Matt Lowe. Des is former right back in the Premier League with Nottingham Forest and Watford and West Brom. He's the director of football at the school. Matt Lowe in the background. He played in the Welsh Leagues after coaching the Bangor University team. Two very experienced men in charge. Now here's Tolley. I've seen a lot of Thomas Telford coming forward for a while.
Oh, see, he's been
Gulliver up
tackled
with him, but he just couldn't ever shift the ball through that boggy area. Roberts run off it by Raymond. Smith finds Sweet somehow. That's the sensible ball forward. Goalkeeper's going to have to deal with it, and does.
Isn't it? You just don't know, do you, how it's going to hold up.
Here's Roberts trying to get in behind Clark. Muscular defending again. Offside.
Now here, watch. One tackle, two tackles, three tackles.
Yeah.
Tackle by the puddle. He's not going to get through there, is he? He's persistent. Yeah, just being called back.
Free kick in Dylan Williams' favour.
Yeah. Oliver Hampstead. He is.
I think persistent fouling. I think the referee's got to take a fairly lenient view, but there was a shirt tug involved, or feels as if he's been guilty of a few fouls.
He has.
Hampstead goes in the book. He's on the books of AFC Wimbledon. Also plays under 13 cricket for Surrey. It's good when you hear these all-round sportsmen, not all their eggs in one sporting basket. Some very good rugby players in the Whitgift side too.
Yeah, you know, that's so important. Not being so trapped in one sport. Get the benefit of playing multi-sports, different experiences. It is very challenging though when you've got talented youngsters and the pressures they're under to try and juggle 2, 3, sometimes 4 teams.
Here's a chance for Tolley. Roberts up with him. Roberts trying to get past Raymond, and the left back's been penalised on the edge of the penalty area here, and Thomas Telford are going to have a very good opportunity, and I think Jaden Raymond's got a yellow card coming his way.
I do. He is going to get a yellow card, but it's an awkward one. He's standing still. He's really
stood across Roberts, didn't he, really?
Yeah, there wasn't really anywhere he could go. He could have actually sort of made it look like he had nowhere else to go. The fact, I think, that he raised his arm was the one that got him the yellow card. There's much more he could do.
Well, Bradley Taylor's been way forward from left back to take this.
Well, is this the moment?
The important thing is that he tests Juan Pablo Caballero. Probably a little too central to be absolutely perfect for Taylor, but it's a good range. 4 paces outside the box, on the edge of the D there.
Well, it looks like the wall is almost...
It's back past the penalty spot.
Yeah, way back.
It is Bradley Taylor. Oh, that's a really good save by Caballero. He had a lot of ground to make there. You can see what they think of him, the other Whitgift boys. Fantastic there. He was a little bit of a doubt for this game. He's been nursing a hamstring injury. So agile. It's over the wall, isn't it, John?
Easily over the wall. That's a world-class save. Got to be honest, that's one of the saves of the tournament on day 3. Absolutely brilliant. They've got to get out and close this short corner down. Ball swung in.
Still danger here. Oh, and a chance for Tolley, and Caballero is in action again on the corner.
Yeah, Tolley very quickly on it. They hadn't picked him up from the corner. He ran into the box. Beautiful free kick. Really well struck, and well, you won't see a finer save all week.
He had to be brave too, because he didn't know he wasn't going to collide with the post.
Yep. Now then, and they had another chance with Tolley.
Roberts with the short corner with Tipton. Roberts couldn't quite provide the cross that he wanted, and there's a chance perhaps of a breakout here with Thomas Blake on the ball. Just can't get the ball to move forward. Vigor has done that at least. He's found Finn Mooney.
All right, keep it wide.
Mooney forward, Sweet is just offside. I tell you, that was tight, but it was beyond him anyway.
Yeah, looked level from up here, but doesn't matter what I think. Yeah, I just had to get that ball out again of those central areas out wide on the break. You've got no chance running through the middle, and frustrating.
That must have looked good when Bradley Taylor struck that free kick. It wasn't the goalkeeper's side, but he got across behind his wall and made a wonderful save. Juan Pablo Caballero. Of Colombian origins. An injury on the far side, which the referee's attention needs to be drawn to.
Yeah, what happened there? That was just suddenly went down. Wow. Yeah, they're going to get somebody on to see him. That was just suddenly collapsed.
Distress there.
Maybe it's a knee.
We are very, very nearly.
It's his left knee.
35 minutes. 3 added minutes have been signalled. The coaches are being invited to speak to their teams. I think we still have some more football to play ahead of a potential penalty shootout. It's just the distress at the moment for the injured player.
Jack Tolley, I think it is. Sure, it's his right knee.
Yeah, Tolley looks in less discomfort now, I'm happy to say. Some treatment.
Yeah, it looks like it's cramp.
What a save this is.
It's such a short run up, and he gets such great direction, and the wall is, because the wall's short when it's 10 yards back, it's sort of negated, isn't it, when you're going to whip the ball up and over, and in these big goals. Brilliant save.
Andrew Martin and Steve Kemby just having a word with the Whitgift boys. It's quite something when we've got players with the pedigree of Kemba and Des Little on the touchline here. Men who've played football in the highest league in this country.
Well, I hate to say, but word is coming through to us here that the rest of the day is going to be suspended due to this rain.
Yes, there are 2 more finals due, but it looks like this is probably the last action we're going to see at Derby today.
It is, and that's really such a sad way to end this fantastic English Schools PlayStation Festival. But I don't think there can be any doubt that the conditions are just deteriorating to such a level that it's dangerous as much as anything.
Well, I mean, this injury will have made them think, that's for sure. As things stand, Dave's going to finish with a penalty shootout.
I still think it's
going to bring Cameron Candola back on in place of Jack Tolley. I suppose it's the kind of moment when the teachers in charge might be thinking about penalty takers. If there's anybody on the bench who they might trust more than some of the rather leg-weary boys out in the middle.
Yeah. Well, that's good to see that Jack Tolley is okay.
Yeah, he's walking away.
He's walking away, so nothing major. I think severe cramp. I saw it in one of the other games. Just playing on such a massive pitch, and in these conditions, it's very difficult, very exhausting on the bodies of these youngsters. That's a good sight. Well done to that physio on the right. I've seen him here all 3 days down there helping all the youngsters when they've been needed treatment and attention.
Yeah, so much volunteer help behind what you're watching in the organisation of an event of this nature. Right, is there a winner out there? And we've got the agony to come of penalty shootout. It would be fitting if the day would have finished with one spectacular goal rather than one broken-hearted penalty miss. And here's perhaps a chance for Viger to produce it for Whitgift. Just run off the ball though by Barrett.
Just didn't have the pace, did he?
Clark.
They've had the pace and power at the back, both sets of defences. When you look back, that opener from Lissimore in 90 seconds, sorry, in the first 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the equaliser, the long-range shot that span off the surface and got in there.
Here's Mooney though. Trying to thread it through towards Ollie Hampstead. They've been so good, Barrett and Pierpoint. Tipton too. Raymond's in the way. Now Smith. Vigor looking for Hampstead, inevitably cleared by that Thomas Telford back four. Roberts can't quite latch onto it, but Candola might. Forward towards Roberts. Benjamin in third gear just coasts away with the ball. Sweet. It's bundled to the ground by Bradley Taylor. Time for you to choose a man of the match, John. Any ideas?
Well, there's a few candidates. Yeah. It's difficult to say, I think, from Thomas Telford's point of view.
It's Candola.
He really looked strong at the back.
Forward by Vigor.
Similar at Whitgift as well. Xavier Benjamin has looked very accomplished, but as has the whole back line. I've been really impressed as well with Jaden Raymond. I think the pick of the defenders for me, of I suppose the 8 if you call it, the 2 back fours, I think the pick of the bunch for me is the number 2 for Thomas Telford, Oliver Tipton. He's the captain,
Leader, yeah.
you know, and I've sensed out there that he's really been the driving force, not just from what he's set by the way of example of the way he's played, but also how he's communicated things on the pitch. Just the quality of delivery, the decision-making he especially made in the first half at times has been fantastic. So, yes, he's...
There was a corner, is there? No, an opportunity for Hampstead to cross. It's just over the head of Blake. It might come here for Raymond, though. Sweet. Tackled by Candola on the edge of the penalty area. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with your nomination of Oliver Tipton, John. But if he misses his penalty, it's your fault. Gulliver can't control that, no chance. Thumped away by Berry. Oliver Tipton's the man of the match, the Thomas Telford captain. He's had a good opponent against him in Thomas Blake. He's done well against him, and his use of the ball and his general authority has been excellent.
Well, he has. He's come on top, out well on top on that battle with Thomas Blake. So defensively, he's been very, very good. Positional play, but then when he's had the ball, he's been able to break away, and good service.
Roberts finding Candola. This might just break for Mackenzie Gulliver, but Clark's across there. Taylor with a cross, headed away by Smith, cleared by Sweet. Raymond. He's done really well, Jaden Raymond. It's so difficult when you dwell on the ball. And Mooney can't get clear of Barrett. The referee looking at his watch. We know it's not long.
Can't be long. Looks very much like it. It's going to be penalties like it was in Thomas Telford earlier game, first game this morning. The under-12s went to penalties. They won that one 4-3. Is that the omen that bodes well for a group of supporters below us?
And that is the end of the football, not only for this match, but for the day. The rain has done its best to douse the drama, but we've got more of that to come, because the under-13 Open Boys final is going to be decided in a penalty shootout, because Thomas Telford and Whitgift are level on 1 each.
Yeah, well, I think it probably is tough call who edged that game. I think 1-1, fair reflection. Both defences were on top in that game. A couple of opportunities to get in there and break the deadlock. But you look at that opening goal and the equaliser later on, you wondered whether Whitgift would find a way back. Confirmation there that full time is 1-1, heading towards penalties.
And Des Little doing the organising. Looking for volunteers, really, in a penalty shootout. This is the first minute of the game when we had grass. Terrific save, not the only one he made today. Caballero was another man of the match contender. But even though he kept out the first effort from Tyler Roberts, the ball ran kindly for Kyle Lissimore, and Lissimore really capitalised. He struck this well, didn't he?
Yeah, lovely strike, and it was all about power, making sure he got a good contact. Caballero unlucky from the initial one that it didn't ricochet in a different direction, as you say, falling kindly to the feet of Kai Lissimore. A thunderous strike into the roof of the net.
And we would have had 70 minutes of that quality of football, but for the water that descended upon us. And that goal, as much as anything, is down to the conditions. You've got to feel sorry for Jack Stewart.
Well, I think it was the only way past this Thomas Telford backline was to completely negate them, take them out of the game. And strikers, certainly on these conditions, take strikes on goal on the opportunities you had. It's a short backlift, speculative effort in some ways, but certainly wanted to test the keeper. I don't think we expected them to be all level at full time, but they did. They found their way back into the game. Whitgift leveled it up, and now the decisions are being made. The 5 penalty takers chosen. There they are. I mean,
Steve fancies one himself.
Yeah, I bet he does. There they are. Who's 4? Who's 5? What's the order? And it's worth just mentioning how disappointed you'll be for Rossett School, my school in fact, that I went to. So I was looking forward to seeing them next up against St Ivo. That one's cancelled for now. The Under-14 Schools Cup for girls, and then the final match would have been Nain Park Academy against Sandwell Academy, the Under-15 Open Schools Cup. So very sad that those 2 games will have to be played another time.
Interesting, these penalty shootouts. There's a new initiative in the game to change the format for penalty shootouts, because there's a strong belief that the team that wins the toss and goes first has got a real advantage in penalty shootouts at all levels. And the new proposal is for the team that wins the toss to take the first penalty, for the other team to take penalties 2 and 3, and then the first team 4 and 5. So there isn't quite the same carryover to the sudden death element that often goes with having to take the even number penalties in a regular 10 penalty shootout.
Yeah, makes sense. A lot of sense. And often with these things, they're battered around and talked and discussed and debated. It is, you see it in other sports.
There's only so much more now that Matt Lowe there can do. Just try and calm his players, really. Tell them that whatever, they've given the all to get here. They've represented Thomas Telford's high reputation so well. Same with Andrew Martin and the Whitgift boys. These are 2 very successful football schools. They're used to winning trophies. There's almost an expectation when they come to these finals of coming home with something, and that something is now going to be dependent upon 10 kicks of the football. It looked like the initial coin toss ball, that the coin might have landed in the ground at an angle. The boys didn't seem too impressed with the referee there. Can't you even toss a coin, Ref? Come on.
What was he doing, letting it drop on the floor? Right. It's decided. Whitgift first.
So Whitgift will start, and fittingly their captain Xavier Benjamin will take the first penalty. Centre-back is signed up with Fulham. He faced Arsenal in an Under-14 Cup final for Fulham just last weekend, so he knows big games, but this is a big moment for him.
Oh, he's going to have to take it again.
He's going to tell him to take it again. He took it before the whistle blew, before Jack Stewart, the keeper, was ready. So for the second time, I've asked him, will he go the same way? Benjamin for Whitgift goes a different way this time, low to the keeper's right, but very decisive. It was a better penalty than the first one.
Yeah, it was much better, because keeper got fingertips to the first. Thought for a moment he might save it. But
Mackenzie Gulliver came on as a substitute in the second half of the game itself. There's Benjamin's penalty again. He'll take the first one for Thomas Telford against Juan Pablo Caballero, who's shown what he can do already. Gulliver, he's successful too.
yeah, good penalty.
Good moment for him. Matt Vigor will take the second Whitgift penalty. Scored a long-range goal in the final at Reading last year, the under-12s. He's nicknamed Banger because he smacks it so well. Crystal Palace player.
Oh.
He smacked that one in. 2-1 to Whitgift.
Yeah, that's the best of the bunch so far. Getting into that corner for a right-footed player takes confidence.
Got to plant your standing foot very firmly here. It's very easy for it to go from under you. We saw it happen to David Beckham infamously once upon a time. Now here's the man of the match and the Thomas Telford skipper, Oliver Tipton. Started the afternoon by taking the warm-up. How will he finish the afternoon? Successfully. 2-2 in the shootout, and the jeopardy grows for the other 6 volunteers, the next of whom is James Sweet, the Whitgift goal scorer.
Yeah, straight down the middle effectively. Just was looking to get a good contact. And like you say, just make sure you don't slip.
Sweet of Arsenal. Calmly done by James Sweet.
Sends the keeper the wrong way.
5 penalties, 5 successes so far. I love the boys running forward. You can't just see out the pitch at the moment, dashing forward to take their penalties with a real intent. Sweet scored in the match, and so too did Kai Lissimore, who'll take the next penalty for Thomas Telford to make it 3-3 if he can. Lissimore beats the goalkeeper for the 2nd time this afternoon.
Excellent
down
penalty.
to the last 4 takers.
Thomas Blake, is it?
Yeah, Thomas Blake was going to be next. It's the little legend, as he's fondly nicknamed. Probably the smallest player on the field.
Anxious faces back at the halfway line.
He just wanted to move it back. Maybe thought that there was a little divot there on the spot itself. Oh, and it's been well saved. Very well saved. You can't really call that a penalty miss.
No, you can't.
That is a fantastic stop by Jack Stewart, who had a bad moment for the Whitgift equalizer during the game. But he just made himself a hero. Terrific stop.
Well, not in the corner enough from Blake. And it's always difficult in these conditions that you're more conscious of making sure you don't slip. You've got the good contact. You can't take the penalty quite in the same manner that you normally would.
He didn't want to place it on the spot. The referee's absolutely insisting. Blake didn't want to place it on the spot. It's Connor Barrett now of Birmingham City. Oh, what a save by Caballero. What a save by Caballero. Not his first of the day. But he has just reduced the penalty shootout to sudden death because it's 1 each now.
Yeah. 3-3.
I think we might have a new man of the match here.
No, I know. I was just thinking. Well, it is sudden death. You're right. 3-3, 1 miss each.
Finn Mooney, Whitgift's leading goal scorer. Yep, safely done. Tucked it away. We know what that means. It means that Tyler Roberts must score to keep Thomas Telford in the competition. Coolly done by Finn Mooney. 2 in the under-12 final at Reading last year. He didn't score in the match this year, but he scored a really critical penalty for Whitgift. And it's match point.
Number 7,
Tyler Roberts has got to score. And does very coolly. And now we move to the players who didn't volunteer.
Yeah, and some debate will be going on now. This is where you've got to just be bold and brave. Those are the players that aren't the traditional ones.
Thomas Smith of Fulham. He's the first to put his hand up at the 2nd time of asking. Sudden death now.
Yeah, he had a good game, Thomas Smith. Oh.
And it's saved. 2nd penalty save in the shootout for Jack Stewart of Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's done his bit.
Well, it's the same way. He goes early, the keeper, doesn't he? Moves over and it's comfortable in the end.
Nice to see the skipper, Xavier Benjamin, has run the length of the field to console Thomas Smith. And it's going to be Thomas Telford's main goal scorer, Cameron Candola. He scored in every round en route to the final, including 2 in the semi-final. He couldn't notch in the game itself, but now he's got an opportunity to win this for Thomas Telford. Kamran Kandola. Oh, somehow found its way in. Goalkeeper got a hand to it, but couldn't keep out Candola's spot kick. And Thomas Telford win the under-13 Open Boys final.
Yeah, those scenes say it all. If you can pan across to the Whitgift boys, absolutely dejected, but scenes of absolute joy for Thomas Telford. They win the second trophy of today. They're the under-13 Open Schools winners.
Nothing between the two teams, really.
Nothing
if anything,
at all.
Whitgift maybe looked the side more likely to nick it in the second half.
Well, after they got that opener, Thomas Telford, it was really Whitgift who responded brilliantly.
Oh, it's not the
So
greatest
close,
penalty.
isn't it? You've got a feel for Juan Caballero. Had a fantastic game. Showed just why he's on the radar of clubs.
Well, there's no such thing as a poor penalty that goes in any more than there's a good penalty that doesn't. But Kandola has struck the ball better than that. Caballero will have saved more difficult shots than that. But in the end, the team that were ahead in the very first minute of this final are the team that will walk off the pitch as the champions in their age group again, but only after a penalty shootout.
Yeah, well, this was the opener, wasn't it? Kylissimo ultimately on the end of it. Tolly with that break down the wing, squaring to Tyler Roberts, had the shot, the block, and then the follow-up, Kylissimo. Superb finish in the end. Well, fantastic goalkeeping from Caballero. Could do nothing with the follow-up, fingertips to it, but couldn't get it pushed up over the bar. And that was Thomas Telford with a really bright start, but Whitgift really desperate to find a way back in the game. Struggled for vast periods of it. You look like Thomas Telford would hold out. Superbly marshalled at the back. All four defenders superb. Captain Oliver Tipton, and then just when you thought they wouldn't find a way through, there it is. James Sweet with a very sweet strike. Goalkeeper maybe should have got his body behind it, shouldn't have gone with his legs, but that could be debated another day. James Sweet with the equalizer, gets it out of his feet. Conditions are deteriorated to such a degree that, not easy to say that, difficult to contend with, that ultimately has caused the rest of this PlayStation Schools Cup Festival to be postponed. Sadly, the rain continues to fall, and this is the last match, but worthy champions in the end. Thomas Telford going on to win it on penalties. We've had a fantastic 3 days, and sad to see us bring it to a close abruptly. We will now join the celebrations down there for Thomas Telford winning another match. This fine school with a great pedigree in schools football, equally with Whitgift, but sadly there had to be a loser today. We wish you well. Safe journey home to everybody else, and we look forward to next year. Thanks to all of you for joining us for the English Schools FA PlayStation Schools Cup Festival. It's goodbye from me and Clive. Been a pleasure to work alongside Clive today. Goodbye.
But I think you can be very, very proud of the efforts that your team put in today.
Yeah, I think hugely proud of the boys today. I thought they were fantastic. We had a game plan, which we had to change quickly after conceding after a minute, and then obviously with the conditions changing very quickly and deteriorating, we had to change tactics again for the third time. So to change tactics 3 times in one match, I think all credit to the boys for their endeavour and their willingness to kind of listen to what we were trying to do, and I think probably we're very unlucky second today.
Yeah, I was just about to say, was that the most pleasing thing for you, the fact that they had to do so many different things on the fly with so many different things changing? The conditions out there were very, very tricky. For young lads, they really dealt with that very well.
Yeah, hugely, and like I say, it's part of their development and learning. I thought maybe after the initial early blow in the first 10 minutes, we were probably, I would say, maybe just shaded it and played some good stuff. But then, as you rightly said, just before half-time, the second half, we had to change tact again. And again, I thought we probably, again, maybe just edged it, but it wasn't to be today.
How much has the team generally enjoyed the experience? They're playing in a stadium like this in a big final. It's only going to serve them well for the future.
Oh, fantastic. It's a great opportunity for any young schoolboy. You know, we're very thankful for the English schools and PlayStation for putting it on, and the boys have had a great day. They'll be upset at the moment, but I'm sure they'll look back on it, and it'll help develop them as people and in their future career.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck for the next season as well. Congratulations on a great final.
Thank you.
So I'm joined now by Matt Lowe, coach of Thomas Telford. Dramatic circumstances to win any cup final. You boys don't do it easy at Thomas Telford today, but just talk me through your emotions.
Certainly don't do it easy. You know, the conditions have obviously played a huge part in what could have been a great spectacle, really, as a game of football. You know, second half we've had to change our tactics and how we wanted to play. But we've got through it. You know, the boys have done extremely well to get to the final, and they've played some great football along the way. Today wasn't the day for football, unfortunately, for either team. And credit to Whitgift, they were absolutely fantastic. It's got some great little players in there. But we've pulled through in the end, just about.
How pleasing is it for you as a coach to see how the players dealt with such horribly tricky conditions? You know, these are young players who bizarrely have come to a stadium and have played in worse conditions than have played all season on school fields. How pleased are you that they've dealt with that well?
Yeah, they've dealt with it really well. You might have heard myself, Mr. Bullock and Mr. Little shouting orders from the sideline constantly through the game. You know, we're just trying to feed back and trying to get messages across that, you know, our style of football had to change today. And we did it. We adapted to it. We changed a little bit, and we did what we could. But certainly, like I say, pleased with the boys, the effort and the endeavour they've put. You know, especially defensively wise, we didn't put a foot wrong really tonight or today, and we didn't really give Whitgift much of an opportunity defensively wise. So credit to the boys. They've worked hard and got their just rewards.
And it's a very strange final, I know, but you guys have a fantastic tradition of playing football at Thomas Telford. How pleasing is it that this whole season's worth of excellent work has come to the best possible ending?
Yeah, certainly has. You know, they're a great bunch of lads. They have, you know, they've really clubbed together this year. Last year we had a bit of an indifferent season, a bit of a transition season where we were trying to get the right formula, the right team together. It's clicked this year. The boys have played tremendously well, as I said. You know, and I've got a real good nucleus of lads in there who get on and off the pitch and work together for each other. So I can't ask any more.
You certainly can't. Congratulations on the win.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.